So I wanted to talk about the demise or the downfall of INTJs and ENTJs and what ends up becoming the issue that ends up possibly ruining their careers. And it has a lot to do with your blind spot and and your demon function. So with INTJs have FE blind spot, which makes them what? Unethical. And we're seeing this with Mark Zuckerberg right now, right? I think Meta just got sued because they make the algorithms addictive and it's affecting the kids or the people. And I could see the reasoning or the rationale of an INTJ feeling like, well, I can change the algorithm any way I want. People need to have more self-discipline because that's how an INTJ would think. They would think like, what is it that I want? And what is it that I really love? So if I love myself, and as they mature, they really hone in on self-discipline, their blind spot, sorry, their demon function. And so an INTJ would be like, well, if I know that this is addictive, I'm only going to allow myself an hour to be on social media or whatever. And if people aren't self-disciplined, that's not my problem. That's their problem, right? Because IJs have a better relationship. Like they have their own they can see their own individuality and see the individuality of others. And they figure, well, if people are making those choices, that's up to them and they are responsible for their choices. Yes, but we're not all built the same, INTJs. And you have to consider other people, and that would mean that you would be more ethical, but it is a blind spot. So that would be the demise. We're seeing this with Putin in Russia. You know, he's an INTJ also, and there's this war with Ukraine, and he's just slaughtering Russians, sending them to war, and they're dying. So many of them are dying. I don't know what the count is, but I don't know if it's something like 10,000 soldiers a month or something. That is unethical, to send people in to die for a war that you're not going to win. Ends up being the demise of an INTJ. And now everyone's pissed at the INTJ and wants to take them down, you know. And that's kind of, Mark is losing his footing in the social media space. And there's trouble for Meta right now. And also with Putin, I mean, I hear rumors that that there's some insiders that want to take him out because of this war. It's the unethical component of their strategy. And with ENTJs, it's a little bit different. So what is our blind spot? It's SI. So when we're getting ready to do something, like to change something, SI blind spot doesn't allow us to see the culture. And culture eats strategy for lunch. And I don't really like Elon Musk, but he's an ENTJ. And what did he try to do with Doge? He cut all these jobs and he was like hacking away at the budget, but he doesn't understand the culture of government. So he thought he could come in and treat government like it's a tech company, like it's a corporation, and government is not a corporation. Yes, there are components that you can take from the private sector and apply it to make government more efficient, but it's not a corporation. It's there for the public welfare of the people, for the public, to serve the people. And so it backfired because he couldn't see the culture. We can't see the culture, which allows us to innovate. I said in another video, and an INTJ got mad at me when I said ENTJs are more creative, like they're trying to create something new. And an INTJ said, no, we're new. And I said, no, you dominate the current culture because you have SI. I don't have SI. So when I'm thinking about doing something, it's usually something different that hasn't really been done yet. And it can adapt and change a lot over time as the people have more needs and as you have to become more competitive in an industry. You have to be able to adapt and pivot and change to keep people's loyalty. So when ENTJs lose, it's because culture ate your strategy for lunch. You didn't respect the culture, and you have to meet the culture where they're at and then bring them towards your agenda slowly, right? And then as you've proven yourself, people are going to be more trusting and they're just going to give you free reign. And that's how they lose. Where with INTJs, they end up becoming attacked. So they become successful very, very quickly, but it's the ethics that ends up taking them out there. They can be unethical. And we can say that a lot of social media can be very unethical, and has been, Facebook and Instagram. TikTok as well, but I mean, TikTok's its own other thing. People know it's addictive and they're on it. I'm on it quite a bit. It's so fascinating to me. I love TikTok. But yeah, so INTJs probably need to cross-reference it would be helpful if they cross-reference some of their strategies with an ENTJ. And ENTJs would benefit from cross-referencing the strategy as it applied to the culture. The INTJs just understand that in a superior way. ENTJs, the reasons why they're chosen for leadership is because they're moral and they're ethical. They have FI inferior, so they don't want to really do anything bad. They worry about doing something bad. And when they manage their FE demon, they're extremely ethical. ENTJs eat last. They take care of their people. They want what's good for their people. It's a caring for the people. So the term, what is it? Compassionate capitalism. That's an ENTJ philosophy. I think the guy who started Whole Foods said that. That is an ENTJ philosophy. So it's like being considerate. I'm not saying that all ENTJs are like that. Each industry is very, very difficult. But INTJs excel very quickly. I mean, Mark became like the first quote unquote billionaire, at least Facebook was valued at that when they did their first round of raising money. That was, I guess, the valuation that they got. And he was like 21 years old, or I don't even know. He was so young. And he got there the quickest. I mean, he busted his ass. He had really good instincts. I mean, but he wasn't ethical. And it didn't catch up to him till recently. And, we'll see what happens. I'm sure he's pretty stressed out. And Elon did a big major fuck up and hurt his company, and hurt the Tesla brand and SpaceX brand. He hurt his brand by going in and trying to fix the government in a like corporate fashion. Government isn't a corporation, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's good to have opposing institutions, because it puts pressure on each other. And so corporations and how they're run put pressure on the government, and the government puts pressure on corporations to be more ethical. So anyways, this is the downfall of ENTJs and INTJs. If you're an ENTJ, check your strategy with an INTJ. Figure if with the culture like it. I can tell you from my personal experience that this fucked me over, and it cost me 6 years to fix with my business. But anyway, ciao.